No, I think for the time being, a bit as expected, not as strong, not as severe as in most other European countries, because the construction sector was still strong in the first quarter. But I think the most important thing is this was only 2 weeks of lockdown. And now that we're going into the second quarter already, this number gives us a kind of flavor that the second quarter will be much more worse, and that we then probably will be back at numbers which are worse than the worst things we saw during the 2008-2009 crisis.
Can you give us a sense of the link between the handling of governments around COVID-19 and the damage bill for the economy? Because Germany is one place that was held up quite in high esteem because of the testing, the medical facilities, and then the managing of this slow move out of lockdown. So is there going to be a link as to how badly Germany suffers versus other countries that may not have handled this crisis as well?
There is a link, and there will be a link. So if you look at some kind of mobility data, we already see that the lockdown measures led to a less significant slowdown in activity, social and economic activity in Germany than, for example, in Spain and in Italy. And now that we're already in a period, and don't forget, the German government already started to lift some of these lockdown measures at the end of April. So we're now in this gradual rebound, and just judging from these mobility data, Germany is already back at some 80% of social economic activity, and therefore also leading the rest of Europe. So it clearly looks as if Germany will not only get out of this crisis faster, but initially also stronger.
Carsten, I want to ask you about the labor market in Germany, because the short-term working scheme that the German government has employed has provided robust support and certainly limited the number of job losses thus far, but it can only provide support for so long. So what does the future look like in terms of job losses when this support scheme begins to roll off and the economy gets back up and running again, but on a limited capacity basis?
I think it really all depends on the additional or other fiscal stimulus we have already seen and which will be coming. We have more than 35% of GDP being put on the table by the German government to support the economy. In these kind of short-time work schemes, we now have some 10 million people being filed as short-time work schemes and employment. So which means, and also when you ask those, there are surveys out there, already 25 to 50% of these 10 million are afraid that they could lose their jobs. So very simple speaking, the longer this crisis lasts, the longer it takes before we really get a significant rebound, the higher the chance that these currently falling under short-term work schemes will eventually get unemployed.